There are a lot of pressures on our system. Increasing the immigration levels, interestingly, will take some of the pressure off of the system.
Well, it's been another week to forget for Justin Trudeau. It just goes from bad to worse with this guy. Where do we even start? Let's start on Friday, when the Globe and Mail got their paws on some internal CSIS documents, thanks to a very patriotic CSIS officer, which detail the strategy employed by the Chinese Communist Party in the 2021 federal election to make sure that Conservatives lost and Justin Trudeau's Liberals won. So then, in an act of desperation on Tuesday to try and curtail plummeting poll numbers, just take a look at Quebec, the Prime Minister held a town hall event in front of a suspiciously supportive crowd of construction workers in which he managed to walk straight in to another gaffe. And then the following day, just to put a nice bow tie on the week, he walked in to another gaffe. And all of that is before we get to the ratio of the week, which also goes to a Liberal backbench MP for another gaffe. Drop a like in the video, help us out by subscribing to the True North YouTube channel, and the comment question for the episode is this. If the roles were reversed, and the Conservatives were the ones who benefited from Chinese election interference, how would the Liberals respond? Let me know, and let's get into it. So last Friday, just as the Trudeau Liberals were able to wash their hands from the Emergencies Act report, this came from the Globe and Mail. CSIS documents reveal Chinese strategy to influence Canada's 2021 election. China employed a sophisticated strategy to disrupt Canada's democracy in the 2021 federal election campaign as Chinese diplomats and their proxies backed the re-election of Justin Trudeau's Liberals and worked to defeat conservative politicians considered to be unfriendly to Beijing. Most important, the intelligence reports show that Beijing was determined that the Conservatives did not win. China employed disinformation campaigns and proxies connected to Chinese-Canadian organizations in Vancouver and the GTA, which have large mainland Chinese immigrant communities, to voice opposition to the Conservatives and favor the Trudeau Liberals. However, the Security and Intelligence Threats to Elections Task Force set up by the Trudeau government to monitor threats to federal elections never issued any public warnings about foreign interference during the 2019 or 2021 federal campaigns. Now, isn't that convenient, guys? The exact result that the Communist Party of China wanted, a Liberal minority government, is exactly what Canadians got. And on top of that, the task force that Justin Trudeau set up himself to monitor these elections found no interference, despite the fact that CSIS found election interference. Now, without the bravery and courage of the CSIS officer who leaked these documents to the Globe and Mail, we would never know the extent to which the Chinese Communist Party interfered in the 2021 federal election. Now, most of you watching this right now would probably think that the normal response would be to try and hold the Chinese communists responsible for this. But not to Justin Trudeau. To Justin Trudeau, the person who really needs to be held responsible for all of this is the CSIS whistleblower. Just watch this clip.
You're very reassuring on the results of elections, Mr. Trudeau. But what are you saying? What do you have to say about the fact that people at CSIS are leaking secret documents? Isn't there some discomfort within those agencies regarding China? It's certainly a sign that security within CSIS needs to be reviewed, and I'm expecting CSIS to take the issue very seriously.
For months now, Trudeau has been telling Canadians that he has no information and has never been briefed on any candidates in the 2019 or 21 federal election receiving money from China. Remember when he said this back in November?
But let me be clear. I do not have any information, nor have I been briefed, on any federal candidates receiving any money from China.
Well, the Globe and Mail reported on Friday that the Globe had reported that the Prime Minister received a national security briefing last fall in which he was told that China's consulate in Toronto had targeted 11 candidates in the 2019 federal election. Let's be honest, guys, things are not looking so good for Justin Trudeau these days. Over 67% of Canadians think the country's headed in the wrong direction. His polling numbers in Ontario are not great, and take a look at these polling numbers in Quebec. In Quebec, Liberal support has dropped 5 points compared to last month. Well, Justin Trudeau is doing his town hall tour of Canada to try and talk with Canadians face to face and get a sense of the issues that are important to them. And given these numbers, you would think that there would be quite a lot of unhappy Canadians raising issues that all of us are dealing with. But that wasn't the case on Tuesday in Woodbridge, where Justin Trudeau faced a suspiciously sympathetic and supportive crowd of construction workers of all people. Even in a room full of what appeared to be supporters asking him extremely soft questions, Justin Trudeau managed to pull off this epic gaffe, which will most surely haunt him until the next federal election.
There are a lot of pressures on our system. Increasing the immigration levels, interestingly, will take some of the pressure off of the system because the stream on bringing in permanent residents has got room to bring in more, and it's when people come as refugees and try to flip or get refugee crisis status that it sort of slows down the system a little bit. So increasing the levels will actually help bring in more people to respond to that.
That's right. Everything you thought you knew about immigration, everything you thought you knew about common sense, well, it's not true. You see, in Justin Trudeau's eyes, in the eyes of the leader of the Canadian government, increasing immigration numbers will actually relieve the stress on our already stressed immigration system. Yes, we have a long immigration backlog. You know what the answer to solving that immigration backlog is? More immigrants. That's Justin Trudeau's plan, and it just makes total sense if, of course, you're not living in reality. It is with that exact same unimpeachable logic that Justin Trudeau told us back in 2014 that the budget would balance itself.
The commitment needs to be a commitment to grow the economy, and the budget will balance itself.
Take a look at some of these comments. Sure, while existing infrastructure in Canada can't handle the current citizens, recipe for disaster. What do you mean? You can't get a passport renewed? You can't get basic services from your government? Here's 500,000 more immigrants a year to help speed up that process, to help alleviate the pressure. I replayed it twice. Is there an English version? No, it only comes in Laurentian left-wing ideologue. Sorry about that. Bring in more refugees. That will help to decrease crime and take the pressure off the healthcare system. Just like taking in more debt makes it easier to pay off the debt. Oh well, the budget will balance itself. These guys in front row, saying what we are all thinking without saying it. Well played, Carpenter Local 27. Yes, this event was held by the Carpenters Local 27 Union. I'm just going to guess that a lot of construction workers at the Carpenters Local 27 Union are not the biggest Justin Trudeau fans. I don't know what compels me to think that, but I just have a hunch. Now, for whatever reason, the questions Justin Trudeau received were extremely mild, very soft. In fact, they were softer questions than even Rosemary Barton would ask the Prime Minister. So something clearly wasn't right.
And I just liked what you said, how there's anxiety going on, and to unsettle the anxiety in Canada, it's like we need to play our part. So what I'm asking is, what can we do to promote careers in the trades for more young people like myself?
I'm grateful that I have a refuge in Canada, but would like to know how you see Canada supporting Ukraine and Ukrainians. Thank you.
My question is, what are you planning for long-term care so we have a better future in long-term care?
What other supports like H2H, helmets to hard hats, can be offered to veterans for transition to civilian life?
And just kind of wondering if you've ever thought about coming on site, just even for a few hours. I think it could be really inspiring for the workers.
Do you have any solutions? Is the government planning to really invest in solutions in childcare for us so that more women will join the trade?
I just had a question about grants for women, like apprentices.
Now, what happened to these town halls Justin Trudeau used to face? Back before Justin Trudeau decided to embrace tyrannical lockdown authoritarianism and decide to invoke the Emergencies Act on the Freedom Convoy. He used to face real questions from people actually struggling.
You've sold us out to globalism.
Okay.
You are not working for Canada. You are working for your globalist partners. I wonder how much they're paying you to betray Canada.
My question is, what veterans were you talking about? Was it the ones that fought for the freedoms and values that you so proudly boast about? Or was it the ones who fought against? Because honestly, Mr. Prime Minister, I was prepared to be injured in the line of duty when I joined the military. Nobody forced me to join the military. I was prepared to be killed in action. What I wasn't prepared for, Mr. Prime Minister, is Canada turning its back on me. So which veteran was it that you were talking about?
I'm asking you, Mr. Trudeau, and here is my question today. How do you justify to a mother of 4 children, 3 grandchildren, physical disabilities, and working up to 15 hours a day, how is it justified for you to ask me to pay a carbon tax when I only have $65 left of my paycheck every 2 weeks to feed my family?
You can legalize marijuana, but we can't twin a pipeline, an existing pipeline, to the coast? you know, you talk about, the fellow up here, he wants to talk about balanced budgets and how you're going to deal with, you know, the money coming in and the income. Well, we're just getting hosed on our oil something terribly. Like, get this pipeline in the ground, get it out to the coast, and you're going to have a whole bunch more money that you can spend like a drunken farm wife after harvest in New York City.
But today, all we're getting are these canned, pre-written softball questions. Geez, guys, save some of the softballs for CTV and CBC. Well, the week wasn't done for Justin Trudeau after that gaffe. In fact, it was only on Tuesday night. So on Wednesday, at a press conference, Justin Trudeau continued to face questions about Chinese election interference. Here is the breakdown of Justin Trudeau's logic over the past few months, if you haven't been paying attention. First, Justin Trudeau raised election interference concerns directly to Xi Jinping face-to-face. Then, Justin Trudeau said that he didn't do that and he had never been briefed on election interference by China. Then, after that, he said that although election interference did occur, it wasn't enough to skew the outcome of the election. Then after that, it was that the CSIS whistleblower who uncovered the fact that the Chinese did in fact interfere in the election, he needs to be punished. And now the logic is that anyone who has concerns about election interference is actually falling into political traps. They're falling into partisan traps.
Foreign governments and foreign actors are trying to undermine people's confidence in democracy itself and amplifying and giving partisan reasons to mistrust the outcome of an election, mistrust the experts at Elections Canada and in our security services and our top public servants who are saying that the election integrity held. That's something that we've seen from elsewhere is not a good path to go down for society or for democracy.
So Trudeau's logic is that if you believe the Globe and Mail story, if you have questions about election interference, well, you're letting the communists win. Unlike, of course, letting the communists win by being their preferred choice and winning the election. And all of that leads us perfectly to the Ratio of the Week prize. The winner of the Ratio of the Week prize this week is Jennifer O'Connell, a Liberal backbench MP. After the Globe and Mail report dropped on Friday, the Parliamentary Committee for House Rules and Procedures convened an emergency meeting to discuss election interference. Now, Jennifer O'Connell, being a good Liberal soldier, doing the unfortunate job of having to defend the Prime Minister and the Liberal government over this really unfortunate reality. Well, she said that Conservative MPs who raise questions about election interference are engaging in Trump-type tactics.
But foreign interference isn't about one candidate or 11 candidates. It's about Canadian institutions. And this is the same Trump-type tactics to question election results moving forward.
Now, those clips immediately went viral and backfired on her and backfired on Justin Trudeau and gave Justin Trudeau one more thing to handle this week that he probably didn't want to have to deal with. Well, Jennifer O'Connell put the video of her talking that went viral up on her own Twitter. Canadians alone determine the outcome of our elections. Foreign interference is real, and we need to continue to strengthen our institutions. Conservative members who try to make this partisan only serve to undermine our democratic institutions. We will continue to take all action to protect Canadians and work closely with our allies and partners to respond to illegal and unacceptable behavior by authoritarian states like China. And again, like any confident politician would do, Jennifer O'Connell did what they all do. She blocked her replies. I wonder why. Didn't stop the ratio though. 304 quote tweets to less than 150 likes at the time of this recording. Only 146 likes to be specific. In true liberal cowardice fashion, Jennifer shuts off her comments as she attempts some form of damage control. People telling the truth, or reading as the case may be, don't shut off replies. And the National Citizens Coalition, a great follow on Twitter, wrote this. Gerald Butts would be proud of those walled-off replies. For comments and concerns on CCP election interference and those who gaslight on their behalf, jennifer.o'connell@parle.gc.ca. And there is a number to her Hill office. A reminder to let me know in the comments, how would the Liberals react if the roles were reversed? All right, that's going to do it for us this week on the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Harrison Faulkner. I'll catch you tomorrow on Fake News Friday, and this is Ratio.